Good evening everyone. Welcome to Abhiram IAS Academy. This is Pavani Reddy Palla. I'm here to discuss the Daily Chronicle series. So, today in Hindu newspaper, in the text column, we have one important article about the sacred groves. So, sacred groves is important topic for us in the prelims as well as mains. Okay. In mains, it will come under the environment module. So, let us go into the further details of sacred groves. Recently, Supreme Court in 2024 has directed the Union government to prepare a comprehensive policy for protecting the sacred groves in the entire nation. This judgment of Supreme Court is inspired from the Piplantri model. So, Piplantri is nothing but the village in the Rajasthan, in the district, the Rajsamand district. Okay. So, going into the details of the Piplantri model, in the village, whenever there is a baby girl born in the village, then in her name, 111 trees, 111 trees will be planted. So that is the unique community program which has been started in this village Piplantri. So, okay. So it is an example of the eco-feminist model. This movement aims to improve the environment as well as promote gender sensitivity and also increases our economic benefits. So, while choosing the plants, we can choose plants which are economically beneficial to the locals. It can be like sandalwood plants or the teak plants, whichever is suitable for the environment and promoting the economic gains. So, in that way, it is increasing our gender sensitivity and promoting gender equality and increases the environment sustainability as well as the economic benefits. So, this is one of the important model which you have to use in the UPSC mains. Okay. So, by quoting this model in the environment can be an can fetch you an added 1 mark. Next. So, what is the benefits of this Piplantri model? So, around 400 lakh trees have been planted till now, which helped the water table to increase by 800 to 900 feet and cooled the climate by 3 to 4 degree centigrade. So, we all know that the water table has been increased by 800 to 900 feet and the temperature has decreased by 3 to 4 degrees with the plantation of around 40 lakh trees. Okay, so this initiative also resulted in lowering the female feticide and increased local income and avenues of education and saw the self-help groups. So, what is female feticide? It is the killing of the female infants. Okay, so it led to the decrease of female feticide, which is a social crime committed against the girl child, and we have seen the increase in the income levels of the locals and also there has been increase in education and the promotion of women self-help groups. Okay, coming to the sacred groves, the definition of sacred groves is nothing but the large tract of forest which are virgin, which means that those forest tracts are untouched by the local communities which are residing in that area. In turn, they protect their trees. Why? Because due to their cultural and religious beliefs. Okay. So, in that sacred groves, there will be relic vegetation of once dominant flora. Example, this is a forest tract. Example, the neem is the dominant flora residing in this present in this area. So, here we can see the neem trees which are sustaining, which are present from way long duration. So, that is nothing but the sacred groves. Over 1 million sacred forests and 1 lakh to 1,50,000 sacred groves are present across entire India. And we have some prominent states where sacred groves are present is the Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and the Uttarakhand. So these are important states which we have to remember to write in our mains or to attempt the prelims questions like the Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and the Uttarakhand. Okay, so these are 5 important states where we can found the prominent presence of the sacred groves. Next, it is very important for us to know the statutory provisions regarding the environment. So, number 1 is the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, and number 2 is the National Forest Policy 1988, and another important case, Supreme Court case, that is Godavarman case, is from basically Tamil Nadu. So the important statutory provisions which we have to remember is number 1, the Wildlife Protection Act in 1972 and the National Forest Policy 1988, and important case, the Godavarman case in Tamil Nadu. So these statutory provisions enforces the central government to promote the community participation in protecting the sacred groves among the India. Okay. Coming to the cultural significance, sacred groves are part of Hindu beliefs. So they promote the coexistence of the trees and man together. And also there is reverence for nature. There is lots of respect towards the nature and all the products of nature. Okay. And the role in conservation. So the practices like the tree worship and strict prohibition on logging and hunting is in concurrence with the biodiversity principles. So since there is no hunting, there is no logging activities, there is promotion of the biodiversity, which is very much needed for the biodiversity promotion. With the existence of the sacred groves, we can see a diversity of flora and fauna existing, and also there is maintenance of the clean water ecosystems. So that is how the sacred groves are not just important for the plants, but the biodiversity of the flora, fauna as well as for the clean water ecosystem it is very important. And it is also important for the other effective area based conservation measures. So what it means, these are nothing but the areas which are to be protected other than government declared protected areas. So what it means, the central government and the state government will declare certain area as protected area based on the significance. But there will be other areas which are not declared protected, but they also need to be maintained and protected for our biodiversity sustenance. So in such areas, the protection of the forest, virgin forest, is also critical for the sustenance of the environment. Okay. During the judgment of this case last year, the Supreme Court has cited a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. So what it said, the nature is the source of all material things, the maker, the means of making, and the things made. Spirit is the source of all consciousness which feels pleasure and the pain. So since we can use this quote in the general essay as well as in the environment related answers. So we can use it in the introduction or in the conclusion accordingly. Okay. And we can use this Godavarman case 1996, where Supreme Court addressed multiple environmental issues ranging from encroachments of forest lands to wildlife conservation and the regulation of mining activities within the forest areas. So this is another important case which we can use in the environment related answers. Okay, so whenever we are using any quotes or any cases or any examples, it will add beauty to our answers, which will fetch us extra marks. So let's have a quick recap. So our topic is very important in the environment, sacred groves. So in the sacred groves, in 2024, Supreme Court asked the Union government to provide a comprehensive policy to save or protect the sacred groves. Okay, so this judgment is inspired from the Piplantree model, which is a village in Rajasthan, Rajsamand district. So what is the Piplantree model? It is nothing but planting of one number of plants whenever there is a birth of a girl child. Okay, so thereby it is called as eco-feminist movement, which helps to improve the environment, which promotes gender sensitivity and equality, and also have economic benefits among the local community. Okay, next. So these are the benefits of the Piplantree model, and now comes the, so sacred groves are the virgin forest which are untouched by the local communities. In fact, they preserve and protect the forest because it is part of their religious or cultural belief. Okay, so they worship the trees. Next, the important 5 states where we can see the prominence of sacred groves are the Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and the Uttarakhand. So important statutory provisions are, we have the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, number 1. Number 2 is a National Forest Policy 1988, and we also have the Supreme Court case, Goda Verma case in 1996. Okay. Now let us go with our second topic, controversial role of governor. So there have been 2 articles in the Hindu newspaper today. That is one related to the Kerala governor and the other related to the Tamil Nadu governor. Let us study the constitutional provisions related to governor, because all these articles and these provisions are very important in the polity part of our prelims. Okay. So Article 153 says that governor for each state. For every state there shall be a governor, and he can be appointed as governor for 2 or more states. So a single person can act as governor for 2 or more states. He can be for 1 state or he can be for 2 or more states. This is Article 153. A governor is appointed by the president. So who appoints governor? That is the President of India, and is a nominee of the central government. Means what? The Prime Minister and other Council of Ministers proposes a name, and that person is appointed by the President of India. So the meaning of this sentence is this. Next, it is stated that governor has a dual role. So remember this terms, dual role. So he is the constitutional head of the state, bound by the advice of Council of Ministers or at the state level. So what it means? He is according to the constitution, he is the head of the state, but he is bound to act upon the advice of Council of Ministers, that is the CM, Chief Minister and other Council of Ministers. So at the state level, the governor should listen to them, even though he is the constitutional head of the state. Next, he functions as a vital link between union government and the state government. He is acting as a bridge between the central government and the state government. Means how? Because the central government is appointing him, and the central government seeks information related to the state through the governor. So that is how he is acting a link between the central and the state level. Okay. Next, Article 157 and 158 specifies the requirements for the post of the governor. Okay. So which article deals with the requirements for appointing a person as governor? That is Articles 157 and 158. So according to Article 161, the governor has power to grant pardons, reprieves, etc. So which article deals with the pardoning power of the governor? That is Article 161. So we have Article 163, which says the Chief Minister is head to aid and advise the governor in the exercise of his functions except some conditions of discretion. Means what? Other than some discretionary powers of the governor, everything is being advised by the Council of Ministers at the state level. Okay. Next, Article 164. The governor appoints the chief minister and other ministers. So, according to which article the governor appoints the chief minister and other ministers? It is nothing but Article 164 and Article 200. So, the governor assents or withholds the assents, reserves the bill for the consideration of the president passed by the legislative assembly. This article you have to by heart it. Okay. Why? Because this is the article which is creating controversy between the union government as well as the state government. Okay. So, this article, Article 200, is giving power to the governor to assent the bill. Means what? After passage of the bill in the assembly and council if present, the bill will go to the governor for his assent. Then only the bill will become law. Okay, then only the bill will become law. So, here if the governor is giving his assent, it is becoming law. Otherwise, the bill is remained in this way only. So, governor assents or withhold the assent or reserves the bill for the consideration of the president. So, he can give the assent to make it a law or he can withhold it. Means he can keep it with himself without approving or rejecting him. Or he is having another power, that is that to send it to the president. To send it to the president for his consideration. So, he can send it to the president's consideration. So, this is also a way of delaying the bill. So, he is having two discretionary powers which can be used negatively. That is to withhold the bill and to send it to the president for the consideration. Okay. So, if you see these articles, so Supreme Court to hear Kerala's PRs on governor's conduct in March. So, if you see this article, what was gross about the 12 bills kept pending for 3 years? So, Supreme Court was asking the governor of the Tamil Nadu, so what are the reasons for withholding the 12 bills for 3 years? So, from 3 years, the governor of Tamil Nadu has not been giving the assent. He withhold the bills with himself. So, Supreme Court was asking his reasonability for this type of act. Okay, so that is why you have to remember that act for sure. So, Article 200. And next, another important article which you have to remember is the Article 213. So, what is that? It is the ordinance making power of the governor. So, whenever the assembly is not in session, then to make any emergency laws, the governor can make a ordinance based on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers at the state level. Okay. Next, so what is the controversy? Why there is controversies? Because of the number one, abuse of power by the center. See, we all know that the central government, especially on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers at the center, the president is appointing the governor at the state. If there are two different parties at the center, at the state level, for example, in Tamil Nadu, we have DMK, and whereas at the center we have BJP. So, BJP at the center has some sort of discretion at the state level by withholding the 12 bills. As seen, just now we have seen in the article. So, in this way the center is having certain power or hold in the state. And number two is the biased ideology. So, if the ideology of the ruling party in the state and the ideology of the governor of the state varies, then again the tussle for the ideology win will happen. So in that way, there can be a controversy arising again. Next comes the favoring of a particular political party. Again, this is a political game where the different political parties at the center and state show their supremacy. Okay. And number 4 is the misuse of power. How the governor is misusing his power? See, based on the article 356 is empowered to recommend the presidential rule in the state to the central government. So in this way, there are multiple times where this clause in the Indian Constitution, article 356, has been misused. Some ways where there is misuse of power and the controversies have been arising. So way forward. So how these controversies can be contained? So through the code of conduct of the governor. So the governor of a state must be enforced with a proper or moral code of conduct. Then only we can curtail these type of controversies. And number 2 is the appointment of the governor. So instead of the central government unilaterally taking the decision on the appointment of governor, we have to take the consensus between the central and the state government. So central government and state government, based on a consensus, will promote the harmony between the center and state. Okay, and number 3 is the strengthening of the federalism, where the central government, the state government, as well as the local government should have their defined role of powers, responsibilities, and the authorities. Then there won't be collision or there won't be battle for power. Okay, since India adopted federalism, we need to have a harmony among these tiers of the government. Then only there can be a proper harmonious governance in the entire nation. Okay. We have another important article in the Hindu newspaper that is related to the deportation of Indian nationals to India. So, with the title, Center Plays Down US Handling of Deportees. So, what it means? The Indian nationals, 104 Indian nationals have arrived in Amritsar with handcuffed and shackled during the flight, leading to allegations of mistreatment. So they were mistreated, they were handcuffed. So in response to that, our External Affairs Minister Jaishankar having talks with the US authorities to contain mistreatment of the Indian nationals, and also have promised for the legal support through the Indian government to all the Indian nationals who have been deported. So this is important article which you have some knowledge about. And next comes the Indian Air Force Mirage 2000. So with the headlines, IAF's Mirage 2000 crashes near Gwalior after the system malfunction and the pilot is safe. So it has crashed. You can see this image where the pilot is safe. So let's go into the details of the Indian Air Force Mirage 2000. So it is a multi-role fighter aircraft developed by the Dassault Aviation of the France. So it is a France company, Dassault Aviation, which has designed and manufactured the Indian Air Force Mirage 2000. Okay, it is a crucial part in the Indian Air Force from its inception in the year 2018, which is known for its precision strike capabilities. So precision of striking the target is the specialty of the Indian Air Force Mirage 2000. And now let us study the key features. So the first is the design and performance. So in that, the type is the multi-role single engine fighter jet, and the engine is the turbofan. The speed is the Mach 2.2, that is equivalent to 2,336 kilometers per hour. And the range of the Mirage 2000 is 1,550 kilometers without refueling. So without the need for fueling it in between, it can travel up to 1,550 kilometers. And the service ceiling is an altitude of around 59,000 feet. Okay. Next, the weapons carried by the Mirage 2000. So, it can carry air-to-air missiles, it can carry air-to-ground missiles, and it can also carry the bombs and guns of such denomination. Next, what is the role of IAF Mirage 2000? So, it has been playing a very crucial role from its inception in 1985. So, number one is the Kargil War. So, this Kargil War is between India and Pakistan. Okay, so this Mirage has been used for high altitude bombing against the enemy positions. Okay, next, Balakot airstrike in 2019. This is a recent one in 2019. So it carried precision airstrikes using Spice 2000 bombs against the terror camps in the Pakistan. So it is a counter planned by the Indian government. So in that also it has played a very important role. And coming to the modernization, so the Indian Air Force is upgrading the Mirage 2000 with new radars, avionics and weapon system to enhance its service life and usability. Okay, so new radars, avionics and the weapon system have been updating the Mirage 2000 to increase its service life as well as the usability. And the next important article is about the Chabahar port, which is in the Iran. So what is the controversy related to Chabahar port, India, Iran and US? Let us study the details. So let us see the map. This is the Chabahar port. This is in the Iran, southeastern part of Iran. This port is near to Afghanistan and also which is very proximate to the Gwalior port in Pakistan. This light green part is Pakistan and it is also near to the Indian coastal west coast. Okay, so this is the geographical thing which you have to understand about the Chabahar port. Okay, so this Chabahar port, which is located in the southeast Iran, as a focal point of strategic collaboration between India and Iran. So India is interested in the Chabahar port because it is very close to Pakistan and Afghanistan. So that is why India has invested in the Chabahar port for its development. Okay. Next, so you have to remember the connectivity to connectivity to Afghanistan and Central Asia through Chabahar port is very strategic move by India. Recently, the US President Mr. Trump has signed memorandum against the sanctions related to Iran and all the countries supporting the Iran development. Okay, so India being a part of the Chabahar port development has also going to get the economic sanctions against the India by the US government. So that is the latest news. What is the latest news related to it? The US has signed an order relating to the sanctions on Iran. Not only Iran, but also all the countries which are supporting the Iran's development. Since India is part of the Chabahar port development, it is also going to get sanctions. So, the news article says that India is silent on this sanctions which are going to be imposed on the India, economic sanctions. So, this is what you have to understand this one. And that's all for today. Thank you. Please like and subscribe to Abhiram IAS Academy. Thank you.